Well, I guess that's one way to travel. Hey, excuse me. Brigadoon, Brigadoon. This is the corner of Wise and Windmill. And when you're trying to put things together, that's sometimes what it seems like. You're trying to be wise, but sometimes it becomes a windmill. Perfect setting. That's my front yard. A little noisy. You can always hear the buzz of cars going by in both directions. Similar to my journey across Canada, both biking and walking, that I sometimes didn't get the sound of peace and quiet, because often I'd be camped out on the side of a road somewhere listening to traffic go through. But sometimes that's as soothing as the sound of a river when you're away from it. You don't want to be in the middle of a river like you don't want to be in the middle of a road, but there's a river of traffic going here. So what's my point? Well, that's one side of it. Here's the other side of it. That's my front yard. I guess in between there's a little bit of a cemetery there, and one down there from some of them are the early 1800s, mid 1800s. Some of the tombstones in back of those ones. I don't want to look at that. A little bit of a view, but beyond that is the beautiful setting of downtown Halifax waterfront. George's Island will be in the middle of the screen, where there's a bright little lighthouse out ahead there, and even out beyond that you could probably not see it. Maybe you can kind of see the light blink now and then, really just off to the left of George's Island. I don't know if this thing can zoom or not. We'll see. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. See that little shimmering light way out to the left of George's Island? That's just on McNabb's. Well, the lighthouse on George's Island I like to call Rick, and the one way out the middle of the harbor I like to call Terry. Now I'm going to zoom back out there. Above me is a beacon, and it shines out the harbor too. It'll blink off and on, warning boats and ships and sometimes motorcycles of its presence. What's all this coming to? What's all this coming to? Hi, it's me again. It's just getting dark, nightfall here. Choosing my backyard to do the next vlog here. What I want to say is, discovering what makes you important will be your most important discovery. That's the quote of the day. Discovering what makes you important may be your most important discovery. When does that happen? Sometimes it just does. Sometimes you're thrown into difficulties where you have to become a hero to someone, and sometimes even a hero to yourself. It's a pretty big discovery. But some people, they also they sometimes don't feel very important, or they don't have a purpose. But I'll tell you, you do. I look at it this way. On the periodic table, there's lots and lots, don't ask me, I'm not a chemist, but there's a lot of elements on the periodic table. All those elements go together to make up this planet, this Earth, the sky, the universe. Yeah, literally. So think about that. Think about your own element. What do you have? What value do you have? Well, each and every single element of people in this world make up this world, inside this planet. How important is that? Now, discovering what your role may be, and I'll explain back there, that over this way, those lighthouses out there in the harbor that are named after, the one called Rick is, oops, sorry, I'm making a mess of things. The one called Rick is named, I named him, after a fellow who wheelchaired around the world. 2 years, 2 months, 2 days to wheelchair over 40,000 kilometers in a wheelchair. Pretty heroic. He found out what made him important. And that lighthouse way out the mouth of the harbor that likes to blink away, that I call Terry, well, that's named after Terry Fox. So I got Rick Hansen on George's Island for inspiration, a reminder. And Terry away out there at the mouth of the harbor. Of course, named after, I think to a lot of Canadians, a person who's very, very important. To some, maybe the most important Canadian that maybe ever existed. But yeah, and he discovered how important it was for him to do what he did, doing a Marathon of Hope. You know, creating a Marathon of Hope, becoming a man in motion, very important. And I've done talks at schools. And I've talked about my heroes. I talked about Johnny Miles when I was 7 years old, coming to our school and doing a talk, inspiring me to want to run and do little marathons. I think later on inspired me to join track and field at my school. After my accident where I almost lost my leg, thinking about both Terry and Rick and even Steve Fonyo, where Steve Fonyo ran right across Canada on one leg, I thought about all these folks in my recovery where I almost lost my leg. They became beacons. They literally became that lighthouse, that beacon through some of the darkest times of my life. Even as an adult, I can say that. And these are really great heroes. And doing talks with children at school or even people on the street, they'll often express their heroes. I always tell them, don't let that person be your greatest hero. I want the greatest person in your life to be you, and always to be you. And think about the hero that you can become for yourself and others. You know, and that ties into what your greatest discovery will be. Think about that. When you see people's eyes light up and their inspiration, it's not the fact of being revered and like, that's amazing what you did. You know, I would say that this isn't arrogant. I know I did. I know how great it was. It was great, a great effort. A lot to go into it. But to see people spark and light up and go, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do that myself, or maybe I can do something else. Maybe I can be my own element that will make this world so much better. You know, watching these sparks light up. There's so much negative from so many people. Let's get positive. And yeah, there's evil, and there's evil done against people sometimes, and I've had evil done to myself. But here's my responsibility and what I've discovered. For every single evil word and evil act that is done, 10 good words and 10 really good deeds must be done to counteract it. So that's important. Yeah, we'll leave it at that, I think. We're going to look out the harbor. This nice, beautiful, peaceful harbor, except the sirens going off across it. Every so often you hear a boat horn. And yeah, part of my inspiration there also, you can see that a Canadian flag up ahead flickering away. To me, I think my most important discovery is that I think makes me important is the fact that I'm willing to put myself out there. I hear cheers. I hear people laugh. I hear people make fun of me. I see people have fun with me. They laugh at me. They laugh with me. as long as I'm moving them and I'm putting a smile on their face, you know, over there in that big city. I know I'm making a difference. You know, the more we move, the more we move others. And I think that's my greatest discovery, really, is knowing that. The people that moved me, the people I will move, the people I'll be moved by. And some people have to have loud noise in their car. One thing I know about Nova Scotia, they like to have rumbly mufflers. They love it. Well, yeah, if that makes you feel important, then great. Hello again. But yeah, I will say that. Yeah, discovering what makes you important will be your most important discovery, and you're important. If you're watching this and you're not feeling important, you're important. We're all important. And if we get moving together, well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to move Halifax, to move all of Canada, and get Canada together to move the rest of the world in great, terrific, marvelous ways, where we treat each other better, we treat each other fairly, we treat each other equally. Yeah, and a few hugs and kisses once this pandemic gets over with. So I'll say good night to Terry, I'll say good night to Rick, and I call this beacon up here Trevor. Right now, probably my greatest inspiration. Cheers, folks. Discover yourself. Oh, one more thing. In discovering yourself, step towards yourself, step around yourself, step inside yourself, step outside yourself, step outside yourself, step away from yourself, and most importantly, step beyond yourself. And for some, step far beyond yourself. Cheers, folks.